Hi, everybody. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome back to the Heart and Hustle podcast. Today, we want to talk to you about that time of the month.
That time of the month. It's here already.
It's here already. It came and went, but it's coming around again.
So the big question is this: how are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle podcast.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Heart and Hustle podcast. Again, I am Tom.
I'm Michaela.
And today we're going to kind of go over a lot of things. It's that time of month again, and I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I know it really stresses me out, and
I hate that time of month.
it does. It causes pimples and just everything.
All kinds of stress.
But before we jump into
anxiety,
it,
kinds of
just want to say congratulations to April on Instagram. She won the AirPods in April, I guess it was. So
April 1 in April.
winner chicken dinner. She did a good job. So
Exciting.
anyways, we are going to be having probably at least 2 or 3 more giveaways here in the next month or so. I really want to do like an Airbnb thing for somebody.
That's a lot of giveaways in a month.
That's a lot of giveaways in a month, but you know what? I think they're definitely worth it. They are.
They're fun to do. It's
So-
fun to give
so
away
anyway.
things.
Worst time of the month for me.
QBRs.
QBR
baby.
time. It's crazy. Every quarter we do these reviews with these clients. And I think it's super important to walk through this process with your customers and your internal staff. In fact, we just got done with our quarterly review with our internal staff as well.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it was it's a fun time to really be open and honest about kind of what's going on inside your company, from everything from a financial perspective to what's happening from projects, resources, everything kind of coming down the pipe in the next 3, 6, 9 months. And it's really a tough time to go through. But before I start, because I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but what's your process, when you meet with clients and meeting with them, kind of looking down that funnel for the next 3, 6, 9 months as it relates to HR? What are some of the things that you guide them with?
Well, I typically do about the same thing. I do more of a monthly meeting just to catch up and find out where things are at. As I wrap up one project, I usually touch base with them and say, okay, this is where we're at. This is, what we've accomplished so far. What are our next steps? And we just keep kind of going through that process.
But obviously, when you do in the heart of it, your educational series, I guess, on both Instagram and Facebook. I mean, you're going down through what we call the 7 pillars of HR.
Mm-hmm.
Do you stay to a certain, mechanism on working with the clients and taking them through the path, or is it kind of more what kind of comes up as they need to? Do you stay pretty fluid with it?
Both. We kind of have a general outline of the things that we know we want to tackle. Typically, in the very beginning, when I start working with somebody, I kind of go through what I call an HR audit. Sounds a little bit scary, but it's really not that bad. But it's just kind of a baseline as to where they're at when it comes to all things HR in their company. And that kind of gives us a good idea of where to start. But often, as you start diving into those projects and those things that you want to tackle, more and more gets uncovered about what needs to be dealt with, or compliance issues that they're having. And, oh, there's this little employee emergency over here. Let's deal with this. Or this is a tax matter that we need to take care of right away. We better jump to this before we tackle employee evaluations or something like that. So it just depends on, there's a lot of fluidity there, but there's a little bit of structure as well. So
You said fluidity.
fluidity.
8
Is that a word?
characters, 4 syllables, ending in ITI.
Yeah, we've already got plenty of those.
We do, a few of them.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but how do you keep your clients on track, though? I mean, inside your world, you're right, and I've seen this happen over and over, is that you start to go down a path, and then all of a sudden you're peeling back that first layer, and then all of a sudden something really just comes in and just really knocks the whole train off its tracks. How do you keep the ship right? How do you not help them stay on the right path?
It really depends on what it is. Because if it's a legal matter and if it's something that has to be dealt with now, we have to set everything aside and say, okay, we've got to tackle this. Let's get this taken care of. Let's make sure that we are doing this right before we get in trouble with the law or taxes or something like that. If it's something that we know we want to deal with sooner rather than later, we can kind of tack it on. Okay, this came up. We weren't aware of that then. We're aware of it now. Let's put it in the mix and we'll tackle that next. It just kind of depends on what it is. A lot of it also, and I'll be honest with you.
Be honest, don't lie. Just be really. And I hate when people say that. Sales world, so never say that. Let me be honest with you, but let's go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, the most difficult part for me is, and I'm going to speak to this in our world, in our little bubble, because we have IT and we have HR. We consult with IT matters and we consult with HR matters. And sometimes it feels to me like those IT matters, those are burning. Like those IT matters are burning. They have to have IT on a daily basis to keep running. They have to have things moving. Like IT is super, super important.
I think you're partially right, but I don't think people understand the importance of the HR aspect. I don't think they actually get it yet.
I don't think so either, but that's kind of where I was heading. Like HR matters aren't as in your face emergency fire burning typically. I mean, if somebody can't get into QuickBooks to do payroll, they need help and they need help now.
Right.
But if somebody has an employee who is causing a little rumblings over here and they're gossiping and they're causing a little ruffle, we can ignore that. We can put that on the back burner. We can set that aside. We can,
Which is a larger mistake than.
True. But it seems to me in my world, HR matters kind of get moved to the side a little bit to deal with more of those burning, more important issues. And sometimes I have a hard time keeping clients engaged because there's other things in their business that are screaming for their attention. And so some of those HR things kind of get put to the bottom of their priority list.
So how do you keep them engaged so that it floats back to the top? Because it's very important. I obviously recognize it's super important, but some of the clients, some of the CEOs or the executive directors of the companies that we work with, they recognize the importance of it, but they keep on pushing it back down, and then it bubbles right back up, and then it pushes back down again.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you keep them on task? I mean, what type of, how often do you meet with them? Do you recommend meeting with these people on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis to kind of keep in front of them?
Minimum monthly. Optimally, like ideally, I would like to meet with them weekly. But again, a lot of people don't necessarily have time to meet with me on a weekly basis. So a lot of it depends on, I follow up with emails, follow up with phone calls.
Right.
Hey, how you doing? Where are we at with this project? How you coming on this? But it just depends on the person and what they're dealing with in their business and how things are going for them and what fires they're dealing with. And
Correct.
it's not necessarily easy all the time, but
I know from my aspect of it, when we go through our, audits every 90 days, I mean, it's literally a tear down, recreate of these company networks. It's taking them back down to the bare bones and almost building it back up again, just to make sure that they do have that feeling of being safe and secure, and knowing that if the building burns down or something happens, or, God forbid they get hacked or something like that, that we can recover them within, anywhere from a 2 to 6 hour time slot, depending on the size of the network. So just a lot of preparedness that are going on. And what I find hard about it is just the reporting inside of it. I mean, and obviously you've helped me a little bit on some of the stuff that we've had to do recently. And it's hours and hours and hours to no avail of reporting. And what's hard for me is, some of the customers, not many, but a few of them, they often just don't have time. They just simply, hey, we can't meet with you. We're trying to, accomplish a certain task. They have a big production run, whatever they're trying to do, or they had a big month last month on sales. So they're really trying to get that service out or whatever they're trying to do as clients, and they just don't have the time. So therefore, the feeling is like they've left their baby, this entire infrastructure, into our hands to just run and operate, because they, like probably some of your HR clients, just put the blinders on at times. They just assume everything will be okay. They just assume that everything is going to be good. They just assume that, they're secure. And, it is our guarantee, our promise that we do. But there are so many clients out there. There are so many, customers, and not ours by any means, but businesses out there that are left just not knowing I can't tell you how many times we've come across customers that they have zero clue. I mean, absolutely zero where their data is at, where it's housed, who has access to it. They don't even have passwords to it. They have no access to anything. They just think their cousin, their uncle, their IT dude is really kind of helping them out and making sure it's done. But when you take them through that audit, that checklist, and you start to really poke holes in it and try to find out what's missing and what's there and what's not there, or machines that are, kind of come and due out of warranty, or those computers that are 10, 12 years old that are still running, they just have no clue. They have no insight to it, no ability to budget. And all of a sudden, one day everything breaks, it burns down, they get hacked, and bad things happen.
Right.
So for me, it's
Panic ensues.
it's very much panic. And, that's why it's important for me to, when that time of the month comes or that time of the quarter comes, we just really, really go heads down and we kind of put our CIO hats on. And I know the team a lot of times really despises it.
And
They absolutely hate it. Yeah, you put that hat on and you hop behind the desk of, with the client. Basically, we audit ourselves. We make sure that, we're doing a good job. And like, would I hire myself? Would I hire my own company to do the job here? Or maybe we just aren't the best fit. And we really should recommend to our client from a CIO perspective that they work with somebody else besides us, because, we're just not doing that great of a job. That has never really happened.
I was going to say that very, very rarely happens. I think
We-
more of our frustration, disappointment, if you want to call it that, is those clients who are too busy to meet with us, or they feel like, okay, we're running good, everything's great, everything's fine, it's all good, which is wonderful. It's wonderful to hear that, but our goal, our vision for our company is to help businesses grow with people and technology.
Correct.
And when you're not moving forward in both of those things, people and technology, you can fall behind pretty quickly.
You'll fall behind really quick.
And so sometimes it's a little bit frustrating for us not to be able to meet with those customers and say, okay, guys, this is what's happened the last 90 days. What next? Where are we headed next? How are we going to help you grow next? How are we going to help your revenue grow? How are we going to help you advertise? How are we, all those things. And so,
And that's really what launched it. That's what launched the HR side of the company. That was 2 years after Soren Group really started. HR was just a good fit. We had that one client that said, hey, Tom, we want to put cell phone jammers in bathrooms. How do we do this? Our employees are using the restroom too much, or we think they're in there on their smartphone doing their thing, and we don't like it. And we're like, wait a minute here, you have a management issue. You don't have a technology issue. We could put cell phone jammers in the bathrooms, but we're definitely not going to do that. So, and then roughly just about that time as well, we saw so many people getting taken from the media marketing side. These companies would come in and just try to push marketing services or media services, and the amount of money that they were trying to be offered to spend was just ridiculous for what they got. So that's kind of where that area of the organization came from and spawned out of.
Yeah.
So I think that's been wildly successful in my opinion. I think we've done a really, really good job with helping clients head things off of the past, making sure that their technology and people are aligned, their messaging is on point and cue, and, trying different avenues of helping them generate that awareness that they should be generating.
absolutely.
So it's just absolutely crazy. So
And that's a growing process as we do that in our own business. And that's a growing process, working with those clients, figuring out who they are and what their hopes and
How do
wishes
we-
and dreams are. And
how do we do it? Obviously you and I have heart and hustle going on with what we're trying to do. You kind of have your personal, in the heart of it, stuff going on with your education and with the people that you're trying to do outreach to. May 4th is when I go live every day of the week, Monday
Every
through
day.
Friday. Yeah, absolutely.
Every day, bro.
Every day, bro. Disney Channel Flow. We love. Hey, Jake Paul, you see the fight last night?
I didn't see it, but you told me all about it.
Yeah, I thought you didn't see anything of it.
I didn't see any of it.
Goodness sakes. Yeah, there was no doubt in my mind he wasn't going to take it. So,
Oh, I was kind of surprised, but
yeah, I wasn't. Fundamentals were good.
okay.
It's been a big weekend, Bitcoin. Jake Paul. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. So you're going to talk to us every day about,
We're just going to talk about what's really happening, current events, what's going on, things that obviously we're dealing with as a company, employees, from marketing side of things to just, you see me every day. There's always something weird coming out of my mouth.
That's for sure.
You-
Never cease to surprise me.
Yeah. So I just kind of want to tell others,
Okay.
help them live the dream a little bit. So May
interesting.
4th,
Yeah.
which happens to be
Your birthday.
and Star Wars Day, and our second favorite holiday is
Cinco de Mayo.
May 5th.
the
There you
day
go.
after.
There we go. So, anyways, but yeah, so gonna be a big week this week. A lot of reviews, a lot of clients, a lot of meetings,
Yeah, there's a
hours and
lot
hours of
going
prepping. So
on. Mhm.
should be good.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. So,
Always.
but anyhow, I want to say thanks again to April for following us, doing what you do, and follow us on Heart and Hustle 402 Instagram and also Facebook. We're gonna be giving away a ton of stuff going on. This time it may be a little bit different depending on how Miss Haley runs this thing, but I encourage you now, as of today, whatever. What's today's date?
Today's date?
Yeah. Well, we're
Or when
recording
is
this
released
when this is
date.
released,
I think it's the 21st.
the 21st, as of 4/21. Go register for Heart and Hustle 402 on whatever media channel you can. Go follow us because there might be a special thing coming out on podcast day too. You just never know. So just like, comment, share, do whatever you want to do.
Yep, do it.
So anyway, catch you guys later. Have a great evening, day, whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you later. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.